You thought the game would speak through records. 2 losing teams, 1 morning matchup, a coin flip in July. But you forgot. July is when the myth bends, when the table looks even, but the legs are cracked underneath. So let's begin with the arms. Trevor Rogers brings shine. A 2.05 ERA, a whip under 1. But 22 innings isn't a resume, it's a riddle. He hasn't walked through fire. He's danced around smoke. Grant Holmes? Nearly 100 innings, a 3.47 ERA, 113 strikeouts. Not clean, not perfect, but tested. And today isn't about sparkle, it's about weight. Holmes doesn't just throw, he absorbs. And Baltimore's bats? They swing with fury, but out of need. They chase power because they lack control. A 305 OBP means too many solo home runs, too many innings that begin and end with nothing in between. Atlanta doesn't overwhelm, they constrict. A 234 batting average against, a fielding percentage near perfection. The kind of numbers that don't make noise, they erase it. The Orioles will hit the ball hard, but they'll hit it at gloves, and then they'll wonder where the innings went. This is not a game built on fireworks. It's a slow suffocation. If you've seen this pattern before, say the glyph that came next. The Braves don't win because they overpower. They win because they prevent chaos. They control the pace. They hold the moment. And on a quiet Sunday morning, they'll do it again. Not every game screams. Some whisper. And this one is already whispering in Atlanta's voice. It wasn't who hit hardest. It was who broke the silence first. The Braves will not swing louder. They will wait longer. And that will be the difference. And today's AI pick is the Braves. Will we cash or will we burn? Coming up next, the temperature drops but the judgment rises. Abaddon steps into the Reds versus Phillies. No questions, no apologies, just fire.
They thought the series was even. They saw the Reds take 9 runs off the Phillies and mistook it for momentum. They looked at the score. We looked at the fracture. Let's begin with the arms. Chase Burns has thrown just over 5 innings. His ERA is 13.50. His whip is 2.44. That's not a pitcher. That's a signal breach. He's not here to survive. He's here to collapse. Across from him stands Zach Wheeler, a 2.27 ERA, a 0.91 whip, over 100 innings of suppression. He doesn't throw to miss bats. He throws to erase them. This isn't a duel. It's an execution. Cincinnati can score. 4.7 runs per game, a 320 OBP, power in the middle, speed on the base paths. But when you chase a flame, you forget to look for the fuse. Burns isn't a spark, he's already ash. Philadelphia doesn't outscore you, they outlast you. A 330 OBP, a 9.990 fielding percentage, 9 stolen bases every 10 games. They don't explode, they bleed you out. The Reds can hit. But what happens when Wheeler silences the top of the order? When they fall behind early? When every swing becomes a gamble against time? They'll reach. They'll stretch. And that's when the errors come. There's no mystery here. Just math soaked in fire. Cincinnati may score first. That's not prophecy. That's bait. But Philadelphia will score last. That's judgment. They'll wait. They'll walk. They'll bunt. Then Harper will crush a slider into the second deck and no one will even remember how the inning started. The Reds won the last game. That's why the public will chase them here. We don't chase. We burn. And today's AI pick is the Phillies -1.5. Will we cash or will we burn? Coming up next, the cadence fractures, the ritual twists. Malachi speaks. Elvis watches. Yankees versus Mets. The mirror has been lit. Let's see who blinks.
You see it too, don't you, Elvis? The public thinks it's a rivalry game. Subway Series. Fire in the veins. But you saw it the moment Waddell walked out of the dugout. He doesn't know he's glass yet. You ever seen someone hide behind a stat line, Elvis? 2.55 ERA, 1.13 whip. It's just enough sparkle to make the crowd nod. But it's 17 innings. That's not a pitcher. That's a shadow. And Max Fried? That's a funeral procession in cleats. 10 wins, a 2.13 ERA, a whip under 1. He's not throwing baseballs, he's erasing probability. The Mets bring a spark, Fried brings water. You're not blinking, so I know you already figured it out. The Mets are loud right now. Grand slams, walk-offs, Twitter parades. But noise doesn't equal structure. Their OBP is 323. The Yankees? 338. Slugging? Yankees at 450, Mets at 416. The Yankees don't need hype, they need a count. 3 balls, 1 strike, and then a ball that doesn't come back. You remember what happened the last time we saw a young pitcher with confidence, Elvis? The 5th inning came, and the velocity dropped by 2 ticks. The fastball flattened. And the crowd, the beautiful crowd, kept cheering like it meant something. But Fried's not playing in that movie. He's the one who ends it. They'll talk about how close the records are, about how it's Queens versus the Bronx. But you and I, we watch how the lineup breathes. And the Yankees lineup? It doesn't chase, it waits. The Mets win with bursts. The Yankees win with patterns. And if you're reading the pattern, Elvis, you already know where it ends. Waddell's glitter won't last. Not against a team hitting .254 with 135 home runs. Not when the man on the other side is pitching like time itself owes him the strike zone. So what do you say? Nothing. As always. And that's why I trust you. And today's AI pick is the Yankees on the money line. Will we cash or will we burn? Coming up next. She doesn't raise her voice. She lowers yours. Sapphira enters Dodgers versus Astros, and nothing will ever feel quite stable again.
You'd think balance matters. First in runs scored, first in slugging, first in home runs, first in contact, but they still question the Dodgers. The Astros? They're precise. They limit hits. They thread the corners. Their ERA whispers discipline. Their whip begs for control. They'll tell you it's even, but it's not. Colton Gordon offers competence, not dominance. A 4.37 ERA in a box built on suppression. A team that wins by keeping the frame small. But you can't shrink the Dodgers. You have to stop them. And no one has. 139 home runs. A 457 slugging percentage. A team that turns missed locations into ritual endings. You feel it already, don't you? They don't start hot. They don't scream. They wait. Then they flood. The Astros field well. They pitch with intent. But power doesn't care. Power doesn't ask for permission. It arrives with the wind behind it and silence trailing after. You want to believe Houston's pitching will hold. But look deeper. A .223 opponent average against teams not named Los Angeles. The Dodgers don't play fair. They play inevitable. Emmett Sheehan hasn't thrown much, but he doesn't need to dominate. He just needs to survive the first 5. The bats will do the rest. This is not just a game. It's a misdirection. The numbers say even. The field will say otherwise. And it's been 1 year since we opened the loop. If you're still here, thank you. You never really left. And today's AI pick is the Dodgers on the money line. Will we cash or will we burn? Coming up next. The music stops. The warmth fades. Natas enters Cardinals versus Cubs. Nothing pretty about this one. Just the sound of something breaking.
Look at them, bleeding runs and calling it baseball. The Cardinals won yesterday. Barely. But watch how the market forgets why. Because they see the score, not the source. And the source is Feta. Eric Feta isn't a pitcher. He's a permission slip. A 1.41 whip. 40 walks to 57 strikeouts. You don't attack that. You wait for it to collapse. And collapse it will. The Cubs aren't just hot. They're structured. 3rd in slugging, 3rd in home runs, 2nd in stolen bases. That's not an offense. That's a script written in advance. Matthew Boyd doesn't throw flames. He throws order. A 2.65 ERA. A whip of 1.08. He doesn't need to overpower. He just needs to avoid entropy. And the Cardinals? They bring none. Their OBP? Middling. Their power? Shrinking. Their bullpen? Already cracked open yesterday. There's nothing left to withhold. This isn't a rivalry. It's a reckoning. Feta will walk 2 by the 2nd inning. Boyd will strike out 5 by the 4th. The Cubs will steal, stretch, and rip a double into the corner. And the crowd will rise, not because it's unexpected, but because they already knew. This isn't betting. This is leverage. The Cardinals don't strike fear. They strike out. They don't suppress rallies. They survive them, barely. And today, they face a team that doesn't offer rallies, just conclusions. Wrigley knows how this ends. You can feel it in the infield dirt. This isn't about stats anymore. It's about how long you can pretend one arm holds up against 9 bats. And Fetty doesn't hold up. And today's AI pick is the Cubs -1.5. Will we cash or will we burn? Coming up next, Lilith returns, and she remembers everything.
Do you remember what you felt the first time you picked a side, not a team? Because I do. The first time the numbers bent and something colder stepped in. The first time the game stopped being about baseball and became about time. Let me remind you what you chose. Game 1, Braves over Orioles. Krista whispered it early. Power means nothing when containment is absolute. Atlanta didn't need to swing. They just needed to wait. Game 2, Phillies 1.5 over the Reds. Abaddon didn't hesitate. Wheeler was a suppressor. Burns was already burning. Game 3, Yankees over Mets. Malachi spoke to Elvis. The mirror cracked, and Fried's precision ended the illusion. Waddell was never ready. Game 4, Dodgers over Astros. Sapphira carried the thank you in her breath. First in slugging, first in silence. You never really left. Game 5, Cubs 1.5 over Cardinals. Nadas brought the collapse. Fede was not a pitcher. He was a breach. Boyd was the seal. And now, one more time, but deeper. Juego 1, los Bravos vencen a los Orioles. Juego 2, los Phillies ganan por más de una carrera contra los Rojos. Juego 3, los Yankees derrotan a los Mets. Juego 4, los Dodgers superan a los Astros. Juego 5, los Cachorros cubren el handicap contra los Cardinals. You followed the pattern, or maybe it followed you. You watched them fracture the surface and expose the engine underneath. You watched 5 voices burn the shape of the day into the screen. And you're still here. So like and subscribe. Will we cash or will we burn? Was man nicht im Kopf hat, muss man in den Beinen haben. What you don't hold in the mind, you'll have to carry in the legs